is unnatural. I remember telling him this, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, a business will, over time, slowly eat away its own profits because people just spend money. He's like, you have to have somebody on it who just is ruthlessly just ripping, is just keeping the fucking expenses down and being like, nope, we're just going to keep making more money and not spend more. We're going to keep making more money and not spend more. And so it's good that you have that. I just want you to lose that discipline because it's not normal.
I mean, a couple great points. Number one, the dude is fucking jacked. You see this? Like, his veins are like popping out of his shoulder here. But anyways, kudos to him for putting in the work at the gym. I'm torn on this one because I'm a big fan of spending money. But yes, you do have to keep expenses down at the same time. You're running a business, and that business needs to be profitable. It needs to make money. And for you to be profitable and make money, you typically have to have a budget and stick to that budget and reduce your expenses. And now with the power of technology and AI and everything, you should be able to trim expenses significantly. Like, for instance, one tip that I can give you right now is if you want to, let's just say, replace QuickBooks because it's too expensive, you could probably go to a AI app like Lovable and pay $50 a month to build out your own software to keep track of all of your, IRS documentation and do all your accounting for you and give you reports at the end of the year to give to your accountant. Or just think about stuff that you're spending money on in your personal life that you could probably in turn save some money by developing your own version of it. Like, I know people that are paying $5 a month for a meditation app. That'd probably be a very easy subscription to replace, right? All right, we got my boy Dave Ramsey. We got a Dave Ramsey video here. Him and I have completely different mindsets on things, so it should be fun.
My boyfriend and I are going to be buying a house together. Should I keep the townhome that I currently own and rent it out for extra income, or should I sell it, take the profit, and stick it in investments?
Kathleen, you're not going to like me.
You're going to ask why we're not married.
No, I'm going to tell you.
Maybe that too.
Well, that might come up in a minute, but we're going to start with the idea that buying a home with someone that you're not married to is financial freaking suicide. Do not do that. One of you decides to leave, you can't get off the mortgage.
There's no protection.
One of you gets disabled, you can't get off the mortgage.
I understand.
If he dies and he doesn't have a will, you own a townhouse with his mother.
My boyfriend and I are going to be buying a house together.
Okay, so I'm going to actually answer her question too. I think this is two-part because he didn't even answer the question. He just attacked her for what she's doing.
Which I think he continues to want to do it, but yeah.
Which, how many times have I actually agreed with Dave Ramsey? Probably slim to none.
Like once or twice,
Once or twice. I'm going to agree with him here. Do not buy a place with your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? If you're not married, do not enter, or one of you buys it in your name with the agreement of if you guys move on, that is their place to live and you're going to move out and whatever, because it creates, I've seen it so many times, like the divorce rate's like 50% nowadays, right? The boyfriend-girlfriend breakup rate's even higher than 50%, right? Because you have to get through boyfriend-girlfriend status to get to marriage status, and 50% of those fall apart, right? So to buy an asset with somebody that you're not married to is definitely a bad idea. And I actually have one situation right now where somebody I know very close, she, for whatever reason, didn't use me when she bought her place because I would have told her not to do it. And she bought with her boyfriend, and now they broke up, and, they're in a really bad situation where now the house isn't worth what they bought it for. It's a complete nightmare, and he won't leave the house. It's just a disaster, an absolute disaster. It's a horrible decision to do. All right, we got another familiar face. Graham, I think is his name.
Condos are awful. I mean, every deal that I've ever looked at, they're all money losers. There's only so much that you could upgrade in a condo. You can't add square footage. You don't own the land. You're at the whims of the HOA. There's so many things that could go wrong on that. The other issue is that getting insurance on them. Some of them just don't have the proper insurances if something were to happen. LA is a great example of this. A lot of condos there don't have earthquake insurance. So if you're
who's going to insure that? Too much risk, right?
Too much risk. And so they just go without it. But imagine you have 800 grand sunk in a condo without earthquake insurance. Something hits, damaged, what do? You're wiped.
It's on you.
I would never invest in anything that's not either multifamily or a house. Condos are...
Well, I do own a condo, and I've owned condos before in the past. Now, we don't have to worry about earthquakes as much here in Western Pennsylvania, but I do agree that, like, it's very hard to cash flow because of the HOAs and stuff like that. My goal on my current condo that I bought is to hopefully break even on it. Hopefully not lose too much money, maybe make a little bit of money I need it to happen for about 7 years. And then once my kids are in college, then I can just move into the condo and no longer cut grass and no longer shovel snow. If I didn't have kids, I could be happy in like a 1-bedroom crappy apartment. I'd be fine. And I don't need anything fancy. My theory is I'd rather spend less on the house that I live in and go explore the world.
Started traveling in the oil field, started out making $20 an hour or whatever, and have moved to this job, moved to that job all over the country about 8 times. We're 27 now, and we started when we were about 19. In that, comes moving, and we have kids. We have 2 children, so we've been keeping them away from other family as well, not on purpose, but just the nature of the job, traveling with work. So I have in-laws that are sometimes seem a little bitter about that. But the first overall question, I guess, is at what point, because I can stay home and make 50, 60, maybe 70,000 a year doing what I do. But if I travel like I am now, I'm making about 200,000 right now. So, obviously a significant difference. And the question is, where is that fine line with greed?
Of just chasing money to chase money.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm wondering where that switch is, because I feel like I'm as good a father as any, or I definitely try to be. And right now I'm going from home about 4 days a week, and we just home last year. So they're staying at home, and I'm traveling back and forth, every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's a hard lifestyle to sustain for a long period of time with a family in general, right?
How old are the kiddos?
4 and 6 months.
The thing you got to go back to is Rachel
Wait.
did a book on parenting.
4 years and 6
4 years. I was just.
She said to teach kids.
I thought he said 4 and 6 months, like 4 months and 6 months. I was like, how does that math?
One of the twins was a little late.
Well, the funny thing is, my brother has 2 children. He doesn't watch my content. I don't have to worry about it. I can pick on it. He calls them twins, okay? But they were born from 2 different women 2 weeks apart. So I was like, maybe. But yeah, 4 years old and 6 months. He just didn't spell that out. So like at first I was like, wait a minute, what?
Is contentment, because godliness with contentment is great gain. And a lot of people get really confused about the subject of contentment. They think ambition and contentment are on the same line, and ambition is on one end and contentment is on the other. I beg to differ. I'm highly ambitious and I'm very content. They're not on the same spectrum. And so you can be a good dad and be working your tail end off. As a matter of fact, generally great dads do that. And so, greed is not an amount of money. It is a state of your heart and why you're chasing them.
I don't agree with Dave Ramsey here.
About the ambition and contentment, or
No, that part I agree with. You can be content and still be ambitious. Basically saying that like this guy should still chase the 200 grand and keep traveling. I would argue that you only have 18 years with your child, right? Like you have 18 years with your child. He's got 2 children, so maybe he's got 22 years there, right? Because they're 4 years apart. So you got 22 years of being a father. Your kids don't need the extra money that you're making, right? So as long as you can afford to live a decent lifestyle, which he said 60, 70 grand a year. I'm gonna guess he has a wife too. Sounds like she might work.
I mean, even if not, 70 grand is not a terrible amount.
Depending on what market you live in.
I was gonna say, depending on where you live, it's not terrible.
But the other side of it is my combat to that would be like, if 70 isn't enough for you to maintain your lifestyle and you're trying to pick between maintaining your lifestyle or being a father and raising your children, I would probably say, how about you take the 70 grand, live your life with your kids, and have a side hustle or something that still gets you home every night, right? Like you can go, we've talked about Ubering. You can Uber and make, 30, 40 grand part-time,
I actually did some door dashing recently just because I was curious to see, because I also needed money. I was curious to see like how much it paid. And at prime time on weekends, you can make 20, even $30 an hour.
That's what I'm
which
saying.
Is not bad.
It's not bad. And then you could be home, have dinner with your kids, put them to bed, and then go Uber for a couple hours to make up some extra money, or build a business on the side, or do something. You can be ambitious and still have that time with your kids. One of my biggest regrets that I have in my life is not spending enough time with my kids when they were younger. Now I'm spending a lot of time with my kids as they're older, and I'm loving every minute of it, and I wish I would have had a little bit more time with them. Thanks for watching. If you want some more real estate or business advice, subscribe to the channel.